The US Army is working on a new tank that could revolutionize the way in which it fights wars. The Infantry Combat Vehicle, ICV, is being built as part of the Army's Next Generation Combat Vehicle program, which aims to produce a range of new and upgraded military vehicles by 2030. An Army tank is usually a deadly force on any battlefield. The tank's primary purpose is to support ground troops by providing fire support and protection against enemy tanks, but it can also be used in other roles. For example, tanks can be used as mobile artillery by firing shells at targets far away from the vehicle itself. Tanks have been known to destroy buildings, bridges and other infrastructure with their powerful cannons and heavy armor plating, which protects them from most weapons. The US Army is working on a new tank that is faster, better protected, more fuel efficient and more lethal than ever. The Next Generation Combat Vehicle program will use unmanned vehicles to carry out tasks such as reconnaissance and fire support for ground forces fighting in remote areas. The idea of an unmanned vehicle being able to fight alongside soldiers has been around for decades, but it's only recently that technology has allowed these concepts to become reality. The tank will also be able to go completely unmanned. This is an important feature, because it means that the tank will not require a human driver or operator on board. In fact, this process has been tested quite extensively and is now well established in military operations around the world. The future of autonomous vehicles is here and it's coming fast. The NGCV program aims to produce a range of new and upgraded military vehicles by 2030. It is being run by the US Army, who are collaborating closely with the soldiers who will use the vehicles. The tank itself has been described as a tactical or operational vehicle that can be deployed in various environments and combat situations. The first variant, known as Ground Combat Vehicle, GCV, will have a crew of 3 plus up to 8 soldiers riding inside it when they are not out on patrol or engaged in other operations. It's armed with machine guns mounted on either side of its turret, which can be rotated 360 degrees so they are facing forwards or backwards relative to each other depending on which direction you want them firing at your target. Your tank needs to be able to move quickly and quietly. It also needs to carry a lot of ammunition, fuel and soldiers. The requirements for the new tanks are being refined in close collaboration with the soldiers who would use them. The Army is looking at ways of making it easier for troops to load their weapons while they are still inside their vehicles or on foot, or even while they are doing other things like eating or sleeping. This could make it easier for them to engage targets without having someone else tell them what kind of ammunition they should be using. Instead, all that matters is whether there's enough room left over when loading up before heading out into battle. The tank will be built with the soldiers' needs in mind. We want to make sure we are providing the soldiers something that they want, that they will use, said project lead engineer Paul Rogers. The tank will also have a unique feature: it can be tested before deployment. The designers are working on a system where they can put an M1 Abrams in a test bed and run it through all kinds of scenarios, including water crossing, sand movement and other types of terrain, to see if there are any issues with its performance. The prototypes will be ready for testing by 2023, with the first units deployed in 2028. The prototypes will be tested in the field and in a laboratory. They'll also be tested in a simulated environment, so you can see how they work in real life before you have to deal with them on your own. The M1 Abrams is a heavy, fast-moving vehicle that's been in service since 1980. It has been used by the US Army for decades and is still being used today, but it's also found its way into other armies around the world, including Israel, which uses the tank extensively during their conflicts with Palestine. The Abrams features a powerful 120mm cannon mounted on top of its turret ring that can fire high explosive rounds or depleted uranium rounds, which are much more effective against armor than regular munitions. It also comes equipped with laser-guided missiles as well as active protection systems that detect incoming attacks prior to impact. If an enemy missile makes contact with your vehicle, then you will be warned via an automated alert system so that you can take evasive action before they strike home. The gunner's sight allows them not only see where they are aiming at but also how far away targets are located from them too, so they can adjust accordingly if needed. The tank will be fast, and the soldiers will be safe inside. That's because there are no human drivers involved in the process of controlling a tank. Instead, it will be unmanned. This means that tanks can go faster than ever before and have more firepower than ever before as well. The future of military vehicles is going to be just like what you see in Hollywood movies, an armored vehicle that is able to travel at speeds over 100 miles per hour, 160 kilometers per hour, but without any human being inside it. It's a lot safer than driving your car on highways because there aren't any cars around to hit yours with their horns or bump into your bumper while passing by at high speeds. Instead, they'll probably just use their cameras so they can see where exactly on Earth we're located right now through GPS coordinates provided by satellites orbiting above us all day long every single day. In the future, tanks will be able to do so much more. They will go unmanned, they'll be faster and more fuel efficient. That's just scratching the surface of what these new machines can do. But if you want to know exactly how they will change warfare as we know it, well, then you need only look at what happens when a tank goes into battle on its own. And don't forget about those soldiers who operate them. Futuristic Tank Pack. Introduction. Phalanx's Futuristic Tank Pack is here. This pack includes 4 different tanks, each with different abilities and bonuses. These monsters will require some strategy to defeat in battle, so be sure to use their strengths wisely when they are on the battlefield. Description. The Futuristic Tank Pack is a collection of 4 futuristic tanks. The U.S. Pendragon, an American supercarrier built to support ground forces in the event of a nuclear war. It can also be used for amphibious assaults and heavy air strikes. The Japanese Ki-28 Shinden, one of the most advanced fighters during World War II and still used today by Special Forces units worldwide. Its armament includes 2 20mm cannons with interchangeable barrels as well as machine guns mounted underneath each wingtip or on top of them, depending on your preference. It's capable of carrying up to 10 people at once. Phalanx's Futuristic Tank Pack 22-10-2019, Phalanx. Hellfire Cannon. Tesla Cannon. Giant Ballista, used for its special ability. The Phalanx is a defensive unit that can attack enemies from afar. It uses its long range to attack, then retreats back into cover when it gets too close to an enemy. It can also be upgraded with more health and armor, as well as a few other bonuses such as a cloaking device or extra damage against air units. The Tesla cannon fires bolts at enemies that cause electrical damage over time, but the larger balls travel farther than normal shots do, so they are great for crowd control purposes. Conclusion. Overall, this is a well-made pack that I would recommend for any tank commander looking for a new way to spice up their designs. The set comes with 4 different colors of armor plating, 1 black and 3 white, 2 different styles of turrets, 1 classic shape which I think works well with most tanks, and several other accessories like guns and missiles. The cost is reasonable too, just $7.99 on Amazon.